all the people that pitched in when I was running late, like our inker Wacky and Guido took over our, you know, so many people, so it's not just us. Yeah. I assume this is a Q&A. Yeah? Excellent, cool. I'm just, yeah, Q, yeah. So any Qs, we've got the A. 1A. Alright, oh, spoilers? Yeah. Sorry, Bishop. Yeah. Yeah, I think so.
Really?
So,
he really is off.
He actually is off. Alright, that's our first walkout. That's pretty good. That's pretty good.
A spoiler-free Q&A, and that's hard.
So yeah, so we're here to talk about records. If there's anything you ever wanted to know what didn't make the cut, you know, if there's any little things that you'd like clearing up or anything, any questions essentially. Yes, all questions.
How much you explored off now because they had a escape on the way, was he going to be a character in the one that people mentioned?
I mean, in an much earlier draft.
Now you're working.
Yeah, in a much earlier draft, he was going to play quite a big part in it. I think it was a good idea to kind of get rid of him in that respect. Like, he was almost going to be instrumental in saving the day. But his last stand in the records, and Grimlock kind of overshadows anyone and anything he's in, you know. And I think part of it might be in fear on my behalf, thinking, well, records, you know, we've got characters that not many people know. We need a Grimlock, we need a guest star kind of coming. But I think there was so much else going on in the story. I think having Grimlock actually on page and on panel and interacting with the characters, I think that would have taken away from the main story. But yeah.
Also, we didn't want him to sort of come along at the end and save the day and sort of take that away from the records, and we felt there had to be a way for the records themselves to beat Overlord and come out of it mostly alive.
And yeah, and even the way kind of the records did defeat Overlord, it was kind of more of a team effort through attrition, and then like Iron Fist, the Uber fanboy, sort of saving the day or whatever, you know, which was again even a departure from earlier drafts when it was like, you know, say Springer kind of had more of a played more of a part in defeating Overlord in the original draft. But those are original drafts, you know what I mean? It's not like that's what we wanted to do. It was one of the earlier ideas that we had, and I think ultimately what we ended up was the best version for our sake anyway, and it seemed to go down pretty well with you guys. So yeah.
Just a very general question about records. One of Last Stand of the Records hallmarks has been that it's used to cast largely unknowns, and I'm just wondering exactly how much free reign you've had with those characters, and how much freedom of expression you've had through them.
Well, because they were largely unknown, we got a lot more freedom than we get normally. This is something we mentioned, I think, at the panel yesterday. Had they been big names, that we'd been much more restricted in what we could do. Yeah, we took cues from the tech specs, and then really we could do whatever we wanted from it. Really good, really.
Yeah. I mean, we did do our research and stuff. We didn't just like the look of toys and assign our own personality to them much. But yeah, I even Andy Schmidt, the editor, said to me this week, said, you know, people really like records and they'd like to see us do more, and they think that we'd be able to do the same. Say we had a chance to write a story with Optimus Prime or Bumblebee, that we'd be able to do the same with them as we did in records, but we couldn't. There's absolutely no way that we could put any of the, you know, the top tier characters through what we put those characters. So it was a blessing having unknowns in records, and also it meant it was a good jumping on point for absolutely everybody. I mean, some people were fearful that maybe they wouldn't be able to get a handle on it, that they might find it a bit indecipherable or it might be a bit lost somehow. But I mean, everyone was on page one of that book. You know, I mean, you didn't have to know who Impactor was, or Iron Fist, or Overlord. I mean, you know, and I've said this many times on message boards, but I think we did all the work on the pages, you know, and kept you up to speed. And you know, Record stands alone in that respect. I think that's a good thing too. If it's tied to too much continuity, because continuity changes, as we know as Transformer fans, and even with IDW, they like to sort of change things up a little bit. So yeah, so 5 years time when continuity has changed again, hopefully Records will still stand alone as its own thing.
Yeah, so it's supposed to be sort of hermetically sealed as a story in a story. It wasn't just the unknown characters that worked to our advantage, it was the setting as well. It was away from Earth, it was, you know, off on the fringes somewhere, you know, events happening off screen, if you like.
And even the fact that Garrus 9 had been in IDW books before, I mean, that doesn't matter. All you need to know is it's robot maximum security prison. If something goes bad, who are you going to call? So that's kind of it, really.
And the irony is that a lot of people, well, anecdotally, a lot of people stayed away from Records because they thought it was a real hardcore fan book and you had to be well versed in decades of backstory to get it. And it was the opposite. It was, as Nick says, it was a level playing field for everybody. And it's really gratifying to hear some people say it's the first Transformers book they've read.
Yeah, that's been point. Yeah, there you go. And you know, you're not the only one. I heard of someone who works at IDW this week who doesn't like
No, I didn't know you were going there.
No, there's a guy who works at IDW who doesn't read Transformers comics, and Andy told me this week that this guy picked up Last Stand of the Records because he heard the buzz, and now he's hooked on it and stuff. So that's kind of cool, you know. So that means a lot to us. So you know, yeah, thanks for taking a chance on it. Yeah.
The last thing, another thing to say about the unknown characters is that the challenge was to make, given that they didn't sort of carry much weight in terms of, you know, fan affection towards them, it was to make people care about them enough so that if and when they died, it meant something, and it wasn't just another generic character being killed off. And there's a few themes running through Records, and one of them really is this sort of red shirt mentality. You've got, you know, literally hundreds and hundreds of Transformers, and yet the focus is normally on a narrow, well-established cast, for good reasons by and large. But this was different. This was a cast of unknowns. It wasn't an attachment to them at the beginning. There had to be by the end. And the scene in issue 4 when Pyro and Iron Fist are sort of essentially arguing who among them should have to sacrifice themselves. And there is sort of the most overt reference in the series to this sort of red shirt status. You know, they sort of bemoan their lack of notoriety.
We're not our material or whatever, yeah.
And that was originally much longer, that scene. It was had we had more space, had we had more issues, it would have been the core scene of that issue, really. And originally, as written, there was more than the two of them sort of almost vying for the one that should survive. But no, what it boiled down to, that what's left on the page is this idea, this sense of injustice, that they're not sort of A-listers, you know, they're not art material, therefore, you know, it's almost a given that they should be the ones that should fall by the wayside early on, and they were sort of fighting against that.
Were you asked to tone down the violence or anything by IDW, or was there anything you wanted to put in that they said, no, you can't do that, or were you just left?
The only thing I can remember... Sorry. The only thing I can remember is good. Thank you, man. Fit now?
Yeah.
Thank you. The only thing I can remember is really from issue 5, which maybe at that point it was like a saturation level where we were told that there was too much eye gouging in the original script.
Which is a great note to have, really. You know, too much eye gouging.
Yeah, and the scene that was when Overlord tears off. No, he didn't tear off his face, wasn't it? It was that Overlord put his like 2 fingers straight into Springer's eyes, kind of pull them out, and just go, sweet. And that was it, and which is a cool scene, but even at that, I kind of hadn't realised writing the script that Overlord's fingers are massive. You know, we just you write the script, say, stick his fingers in his eyes, yeah, that'd be great. But he's got massive, massive fingers, like one finger will go straight through Springer's head, you know, so that's the only thing I couldn't really think of. I was told before to tone down violence in the Spotlight at the very beginning, there's a guy gets decapitated, and but originally it was like a furry, cute, kind of alien sort of noble-looking chap, and they said no, it has to be a cybernetic robotic creature, we can't have lopping the heads off kind of, you know, furbies and stuff, so... I know, that's our next series, upcoming. Apart from that, we were given pretty free reign, I think.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think I've said on the boards before, we weren't told to tone things down too much. There were a couple of things that...
There's one bit we were told to up the violence.
Yeah, in issue 5, and this is a spoiler, it's too late now, if you're sitting there listening to this, you know. Yeah, when Impactor offs Squadron X in issue 5, and with some clean headshots, and the process is, you know, our scripts will go through various editors and then go to Hasbro and various people at Hasbro to clear. And the message that came back was, you know, if you really intend to kill them for good, you need a headshot and essentially a spark shot as well. So, you know,
Yeah, you need to double tap those guys. Alright, Hasbro, cheers. Alright, the toy company, alright. The thing about the violence as well is that if it wasn't a Transformers comic, I wouldn't have any interest in drawing that level of violence. It is because they're robots, I think, you can push it a little bit. And it's not even just the violence, it's sort of just basically with every kind of active violence you're telling readers that look, this is serious, and you know, it's high stakes more than this is serious. Hence that's why I kind of went overboard on the mech fluids and things like that. And there's no way that each robot can contain that much fluid, but it's a good visual shorthand to say that this guy's hurt really badly. And that was it. But I have no interest in reading, writing, or drawing a comic that involves humans with that level of violence at all. So it is just because they're toys.
And we tried to leaven it as well. I mean, it was important that juxtaposed with the violence was sort of more domestic scenes, like when they were just talking. Getting the first two issues in particular, building up to the carnage. The carnage wouldn't have had that impact if it hadn't been, say, juxtaposed against some more gentle conversational scenes.
It was really important to have that kind of getting to know you first two issues, and even that scene with the mottos in issue 2 where they're talking about, Pyro searching for his motto, and I mean, all that stuff is great. All that stuff kind of makes you love the guys a little bit, or at least be invested in them. But people kind of really started to warm to Pyro then, and then like later on when he's kind of arguing with Iron Fist over who should go first, and he kind of argues his way out of it, and that's kind of like, oh, really? You're not Optimus Prime, so it's. And people were really upset by that. I remember reading on message boards, people were kind of, I'm disgusted at Pyro's actions, this isn't the lemon we were sold, and it's kind of nice. So sorry, as well as we weren't just told to tone things down now and then, but we did get good input editorially, and the structure of the story. I suppose that the middle part is often the hardest, and issue 3, as originally written, it could have been another issue in itself. There was a lot more happening between the scene when they escape the pit and when they arrive at, I think, the southern dome. There was a chase sequence. There was more sort of action in there, and even with that taken out, issue 3 is a lot going on in that issue already. But no, Andy was very helpful in how that was reordered, and it does flow much better actually. It's a good bridging issue.